folks, welcome to yet another very special edition of the Beard Owl Podcast, the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And you know, we're at the trail end of the holiday season. Christmas was earlier this week because today is December 29th. And, you know, so this is the last episode of Year of Our Lord 2023. And because it's the holiday season, I'm not going to belabor this point. You all know what Lauren drinks during the holiday season. And it's Mad Elf from Troegs Brewing Company in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's my favorite holiday beer. And I think I've had more of this beer on this show than any other beer ever. But that's okay because I like my Troegs at the holiday time. But, you know, so I got that out of the way. And now I get to introduce my very special guest. Somebody who, prior to our recording, has said that he's been a Weird Al fan since the age of 8, so we're going to be talking all about the importance of Weird Al in his life. I love this series, too, like the what Weird Al means to me and how special he is. So I've got, you know, we've been Twitter buddies. We've been ex-buddies, but we're current ex-buddies. DJ Skoob, hello, how are you, sir?
Hey, everybody. Oh man, I am so excited to be on this podcast. I've been wanting to be on this podcast for the longest time. And you can't really say ex-buddies because it sounds like we're not buddies.
Right.
So it doesn't really work that way.
We're current ex-buddies, current buddies on X.
There you go.
But we're not on X because like X is like slang for drugs and we're not on that either. We are internet friends.
There we go. I like that much better.
Okay.
It sounds so much better.
Yes. So yeah, you know, we found each other obviously in the podcasting space online, and you're doing some pretty cool stuff with your show. So like right here at the beginning, I want to make sure before we get into all the Weird Al stuff, you can tell the listeners of the Beard Owl Podcast what it is that you are doing.
Sure, absolutely. So my real name is Jesse Blount, but obviously everybody calls me DJ Skoob. I am the host of The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, which is a podcast for brand new entrepreneurs that are just getting started in their entrepreneur adventure. We talk about their struggles, their goals, and accomplishments, and we all come together as a community, as Skoob believers is what I call my community, to learn how to run and start an entrepreneur adventure. So I have different types of guests in. Most of my guests for under a year in their entrepreneur adventure, and I do that so we're all kind of in the same boat as far as starting an entrepreneur adventure. And it's been a great ride. I've been doing it for just over 2 years, and I've started doing some speaking and coaching. So it's been a fantastic ride.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know, I will, full disclosure, I am the kind of person that is I don't so much have the entrepreneurial spirit.
Gotta be
in
able
me.
to say it. Yeah.
Yes. I know. First of all, I can't say it reliably. So that's part of my problem. And the other part of it is I need to know that it's not just me. You know what I mean? So I do this show, and this is as about as entrepreneurial as I get. But you know, I do have many members of my family who are like, they've kind of done that like individual entrepreneur kind of deal. You know, my cousin has his own meat shop. Like butcher meat shop. He makes sausages. He does all that kind of stuff. You know, he'll sell sides of beef for the holidays and all this, that, and the other. And he's doing phenomenal. And I'm like, man, that looks so cool. But like, I don't think I have it in me to do it. And so I respect you and all the guests you have for what they're doing, you know, what y'all are doing, because like, I could not do that.
Yeah, it's not easy. You really have to have the mind for it. But everybody has a way to be able to be an entrepreneur one way, shape, or form. You just got to find it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I've got my little side hustles. I like to make soy wax candles in empty craft beer cans. But,
okay.
So I do that. I sell them from time to time, but not in any capacity that I could say I'm an entrepreneur about it. It's mostly like, I think I drank enough to make some candles. But
that's funny.
So we've got that, and I will put all of the pertinent links to DJ Skoob's adventures in the links to this, the show notes of this episode. So all the links will be there, so you don't have to go finding it. They will be there easily for you to look for. And we're just going to jump into the meat of it because we're closing the year out with an edition of my favorite series of the show. It's the What Weird Al Means to Me. Like, how has he woven himself into the fabric of your life? And I will say, before we get into I'm going to let you wax poetic on Weird Al for quite some time here. I just need to say that as the day that we're recording this, I just watched the Eric Appel and Al Yankovic commentary on Weird, the Al Yankovic story on the 4K HD release, and I'm a changed person. It was wonderful. So I'm very much in the mindset to have the, like, what does Weird Al mean to me conversation. So I'm going to start, Mr. DJ Skoob, because I'm being formal now, with this first question that I have for you is, what was your introduction to Weird Al? Like, what started all this for you?
Okay, so I actually had a long think about this because it was a very long time ago. So it took a long think to figure out where it was. And I thought back to my youth, and I was in a Walmart. Yes, Walmart was a thing when I was 8. That's, if I don't age myself enough, that's going to be it. And I was cruising through the music section because I like music. And I came across this cassette. There I am aging again. Cassette cover of, at that time, I didn't know who he was, but of Weird Al Yankovic. It was all hand drawn and sitting in a very cluttered room and playing the accordion in this room. And I was like, what is this? Because I love art and that kind of thing. And I looked at the back of it. I was like, whoa, look at the names of these songs. And I run up to her, Mom, look, Addicted to Spuds. I gotta have this. I gotta have this cassette. Mom, look at this. And after much coaxing, crying, I don't know what else I had to do to get this thing, I finally got it. And from then on, from that time forward, listening to that thing, I think I wore it out like twice, listening to it over and over and over and over again. Then as he came out with newer songs like Eat It, he came out with Fat, all those things, and I just kept liking him more and more. And I'm realizing at that particular time, as I'm listening to him, his music just spoke to me so much because I'm kind of a zany guy. If you couldn't tell yet,
Mm-hmm.
you definitely know for sure by now. And it just spoke to me so much because it gave me like the permission. And I think the one song that actually gave me permission to be who I wanted to be was Dare to Be Stupid.
Yes.
And from that song, that song triggered me. It gave me the want to be stupid and be okay with it. Want to be crazy, but be okay with it for myself. It's kind of an emotional thing for me, even though it's kind of a zany song. It gave me permission to be me.
I think, and you are hitting a chord that is so familiar to people for whom Weird Al runs deep in, your veins, right? And like the name Dare to Be Stupid, people are like, well, why would that be something to which I would aspire? Why would I want to dare to be stupid? But it's not stupid in a bad way. It's stupid in an owning who you are kind of way and just being proud of it. It's much like you were mentioning the cassette of his self-titled debut album, right? With the drawing on the cover. There's my personal theme song is on Weird Al's debut album, and it's I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead.
I'll be mellow when I'm dead. I'll be mellow when I'm... Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because, you listen to that whole thing. I don't care about your karma. I don't care about what's hip. No space cadet's going to tell me what to do. It's basically like whatever is popular right now is not going to affect how I identify myself. I'd rather kick and jump and bite and scratch and scream until I'm blue, So, and it's... you got to the end of that and you're like, this is a little emotional, but like Dare to Be Stupid, And the thing is, I think Weird Al's music is more emotional for a lot of people that connect with it than we're often willing to admit because it is silly. It's funny, but it's poignant because it affects us as people. Like anybody who feels like they're not, part of exactly what is cool in any given moment. You don't fit into the cookie cutter of what's happening at the time. you're going to relate to Weird Al in your own way and glob onto that. And my only hope really is that it's the kind of thing that ends up radiating out of you and saying like, oh, you're different too. And we can be different together and create a community like that.
There's nothing more awesome to be able to get together with other Weird Al fans and talk about Weird Al and have that camaraderie between two completely different people that live two completely separate lives, but love Weird Al so much they could pretty much name off every song that he's had and actually sing every song that he's had up to a certain point or whatever it is, and have that camaraderie that we're okay for being who we are because we dare to be stupid, the good stupid. We're not daring to be we're daring to be us as who we are because we like being zany, we like being crazy, we like being unpredictable, and that just makes us who we are as humans.
Right. And I think the daring to be stupid is part of like admitting when you're wrong about something, right? Like saying like, oh no, I thought that before, but oh no, I'm stupid. Like I was wrong. I'm sorry. You know, there's a bravery in admitting that you don't know something.
Well, that's just how it is. I mean, that's just us humans. If as long as we take responsibility for our actions and for our neglect or anything like that of not knowing what it is. Sorry, I didn't know. That's okay. I apologize for it, or whatever it ends up being. That's just daring to be who we are.
Yeah. There's bravery, and I love that. Like, there's so much bravery in it. So, yeah, so you got his. So you were a Weird Al fan from the start, then,
Yes.
and I think that's awesome. We've talked about it on this show a bunch of times. Is like the Weird Al's debut album was my second Weird Al album because I started with Bad Hair Day, and then my dad said, "Oh, I've got the cassette of his self-titled debut album." And so I flip-flopped between the two, and then, ultimately, we filled in the gaps and now, completed the whole thing. But yeah, it was like, oh man, this guy like gets what's going on, So, you got that far and things like that. And so then into adulthood, going into the 90s with Weird Al, was there a moment, was there ever a time in your life where you maybe weren't excited for a Weird Al album to come out, where you said to yourself like, oh, you know what, oh, I'll get it when I get to it? Or were you always just like, oh no, I know this is coming and I need to put this in my collection right now?
There is only one album ever that I really didn't have that God I have feeling for, and I think it was right after his parents passed away. Was Apocalypse.
Oh, that's the one. Well, Alpocalypse, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's two albums. That's an album, right? Because Straight Outta Linwood was right after his parents passed away.
But see, I think that one was recorded already, and he was recording this one when his parents actually. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just wasn't the normal Al stuff I was used to. It just didn't have that same feeling for me.
And I think it's not so much his parents, I don't think, because they passed away during the Poodle Hat tour, right? And then Straight Outta Linwood came out 3 years after, and then you get Alpocalypse after that. And I think the thing that feels disjointed about Alpocalypse is it's half of the Internet Leaks EP and then half other new stuff. So it wasn't as cohesive, right?
Yeah.
There's some real gems on Alpocalypse, but I will say I am 100% with you, because I was also at a time in my life when Alpocalypse came out. I missed it, right? I was just not there for new Weird Al music.
So in the 90s, so I graduated in 93. And also, my first son was born 3 days before I graduated high school. So, like, at that particular point, I think I had a few other things on my mind than Weird Al.
Yeah.
I completely missed that too. I actually didn't even know it came out until about a couple years after.
Oh wow.
It came out. Yeah, I really kind of flew off the map there for a little bit. But once I heard Apocalypse and the music was kind of not the same, I didn't really feel like I missed too much.
Yeah. I would challenge you to listen to Alpocalypse with fresh ears, because you got Alapalooza right? And then Alpocalypse are just Alapalooza was in the early 90s, and then Alpocalypse was the late aughts, right? And Alpocalypse from the late aughts is the one that gets conflated with the internet leaks because it has both. But there's some amazing tracks on there. If you haven't really given the mental space to Craigslist, do so. It's transcendent. It's beautiful. And, but that's interesting, like how our life paths like lead us away and then sometimes back to Weird Al, depending on what's going on. So, okay, Weird Al in the 90s. What's your favorite album from Weird Al in the 90s? You have Off the Deep End, Alapalooza, Bad Hair Day, and Running with Scissors.
Oh man, Bad Hair Day and Running with Scissors. Which one? Oh my goodness. Wow, because I loved White and Nerdy.
But that was off of Straight Outta Linwood from 2006.
Oh, that's right. Which one am I thinking of? Oh, well, anyway.
You're thinking of Amish Paradise was on Bad Hair Day.
That's what it was. Yeah. Amish Paradise. I loved that one. So it's really hard for me. But, he had some great polkas in Running with Scissors.
The alternative polka is probably the best polka that's on an album.
So, God, can I say both?
No, you absolutely can, because it can definitely be a coin flip, right? Because it's a weird space to be in, like the Weird Al, trajectory, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word, but I don't care. Because Bad Hair Day was the last album with the glasses and the mustache, and Running with Scissors was the first album with post LASIK shaved mustache, right? So for me, in my mind, that's the mid-album mark, between Bad Hair Day and Running with Scissors. Even though they're, 3 years apart, there's a clear line because he completely changed his look between those two albums. So, and he turned 40 between those two albums. So that signifies to me, it's like, this is a change in the way he's presenting himself to us. It's almost like he stopped being the 80s, 90s nerd and started being the, 2000s cool guy. Not how cool is he?
It was definitely an upgrade look. I mean, his glasses and his look at that time. Here, I'll give you an example. His Dare to Be Stupid album, where he has the poofy hair, right? The really tight curls. He has, and his face is like right up on the album there. I dressed up as Weird Al Yankovic off of that picture for grade school. I think it was 9th or 10th grade, and won second place because I looked exactly like that. It was a wig. It was a wig, but I had this. My mom had this wig, and I painted on the old mustache, and I had wire glue. So it was like, that's how much I loved it that much. So
that's
you
amazing.
can see how the look was progressed from there all the way to where he is now. Now he has the long hair, which I think looks great on him.
It does. It makes him timeless. It is in his way, because it's not like it's not a dated haircut of any kind. It's just, shoulder length curly hair. That's what it is. And I think it's smart. I think it's wonderful for him. But yes, I'm very particular about my Weird Al eras. If I'm ever going to dress up as Weird Al, which I have done more than once, I need everything to be period correct, okay? Because I see some people, and this is not me judging, this is just me saying that this is how I feel. You can't do the no bangs long hair with the glasses and mustache because that never happened, right?
Right. Yes.
You need bangs and some kind of hair with the glasses and the mustache because that is what happened. And so I have a wig that I got for my Weird Al costume, and I put it on my own head and I cut it. So I pulled the front of it because this wig didn't have bangs, but I cut bangs into it and I trimmed it up so that like my Weird Al costume is specifically 1996, 1997 Weird Al from like the Weird Al Bad Hair Day Weird Al show time, because the hair is that's what that hair is, And so I see all these Weird Al costumes at Halloween time. And I was like, oh, bless you. Like, you're trying. This is wonderful. And I love the spirit of it. But you're not period accurate. And I don't know if that makes me I'm like a Weird Al hipster. I don't know what that means.
You need to send someone an email or something saying, hey, at least get the time zones right there.
Right? Like, get your time frame correct, So goodness. You know what? But before we move on in this conversation, I need to make sure I make some time in this episode for a little bit of an ad break so I can share some stuff with the people. So, anyway, that's going to happen. Listen to these ads if you don't like them. Remember, the ads that you hear are based on the stuff that you Google. So maybe Google different things, and we'll come back to you on the other side.
This is Beer in Front. Every week I'll talk about a beer that maybe we've forgotten along the way while we get those check-ins and badges. Being the Chicago beer guy, I'll also talk about great craft beer in the city of Chicago. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. That's Beer in Front, part of the OddPods Media Network.
We interrupt this program to bring you a news blast.
Michael Jackson's ghost seen at a Yankees game.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, now with a shrimp in every bite.
Lil Uzi Vert's head diamond has been sold on the dark web.
Stories like this and more can be found at the EverTrending Story, a podcast where we peruse the news and write a fun fictional story for you.
Find us wherever you download podcasts and follow us on the socials at EverTrending Pod, and we are proud members of the OddPods Media Network.
And we're back. Hey, weren't those great?
I'm sure we can make up something out of those. Yes.
Yes, I'm sure we can. Anyway, so yes, we're back here on the flip side of those ads with our friend DJ Skoob. I just like saying that. Can I just?
Nothing wrong with saying that.
DJ Skoob. I just going Skoob.
Skoob. Yeah. Where I work at, when they call my name out I'm a server during the nighttime, so they call me Skoob.
That's great.
Yeah, no.
That's fun. Oh man, I love that. So, okay. All right. So we're talking about like what Weird Al kind of means to you sort of in your life and things like that. And we were talking about music in kind of the first half of the show, but let's get into I don't know, I think the thing that's the most important to me is like who Weird Al is as a person and who he makes us be as people. Right. So your whole podcast is about the entrepreneurial spirit. I said it. I got the word out.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Hooray. And what do you think, do you think who Weird Al is, like his music, who he is as a person, like what he has to offer, do you think there's any nugget of advice in Weird Al's like whole persona that an entrepreneur can take with them and say like, okay, this is going to make me better?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because that's what I've been using.
Yay.
So don't be afraid to be yourself. Always be yourself. And when you're yourself and you are who you are and who you want to be, you feel better about yourself, which means other people are going to feel that too. So like the people that are going to gravitate you are going to want you for you. The same reason why I gravitate towards Weird Al Yankovic. I like who he is. I like what he does. So I am part of his following. On the same aspect, anybody who likes what I do, because I do all kinds of different things. I love Weird Al. I love really bad movies. I love Scooby-Doo, obviously. Anybody that likes those things are going to tend to want to gravitate towards me because they say who I am. And it's the same way with Weird Al too.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's a self-assuredness that I don't think is as common today as it should be. One of the things that I do out in the world, again, I don't have it in me to be an entrepreneur, but I I am a university and college writing professor.
Ah.
So I adjunct at 2 different places. And I was just wrapping up the semester recently, and one of my students came up to me at the end of like our last class and said that they were so thankful to have me as their teacher because I was so understanding. And it took me a second. I'm like, I didn't do anything special for this student. You know what I mean? I didn't do anything outside of like what I feel like would normally, I would normally do as a human. And again, in the back of my brain, this is where we're going with this. I'm always checking like, what would Weird Al do in this situation? Right? I'm always checking myself. And literally all I did was give this kid a little extra time to turn in some stuff because life happens. Like, and that was it. That was it. I didn't do anything above and beyond. I did what I felt was like basic human stuff, right? But this student appreciated it so much, and like I got a huge hug. I got like a big thanks, and it was just like, you accommodated me in a way that my other professors didn't. And I was like, oh, well, you're welcome, and it was a weird compliment to take because I didn't think like I did anything special, right? But I think it's part of being so immersed in like, well, what would Weird Al do in this situation? Like, he always asks for permission before doing any parodies. Like, he's just a nice guy. He feels bad if he hurts anybody's feelings and all this, that, and the other. He's like the poster boy for kindness, but doing it in a way that's like, you're fun about it. You're fun but kind. And that's what I try to be when I teach. And so I was like, I got home after all that, and I was like, I think I just Weird Al'd that kid. Like, I think that's what I did. And so, but yes, like that's entrepreneurs too. It's like, be yourself, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're starting a small business or, working in your regular day job, be who you are, yeah, so much fun, man. I'm looking across the room. I have so much Weird Al artwork on the wall over here in front of me. So whenever I'm like, where am I going with this? I look to him for inspiration up there on my wall. So I ask you this. What is your favorite Weird Al song?
So many to choose from.
You can pick up to 3. I'm not going to limit you to 1.
Good. Okay. So Dare to Be Stupid obviously is one of them. That's for sure. I'm going to go with Amish Paradise as number 2 because he puts that whole thing in such a different spin on it. And I love the music video to that thing, especially the very end of it when he's doing everything backwards.
I know. The talent, just the absolute raw talent to get that done. Like, king. #king.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's really difficult to do. I've seen other people try to pull that off, and it's just not the same.
I didn't know. First of all, it was probably like 10 years of seeing that video before I knew how that happened. I just figured there was some magic that occurred, but nope. The only magic that occurred was Weird Al being Weird Al.
Yep, exactly. And then I think I'm going to go a little abstract on this last one and say Pancreas.
That is a dope track, yo.
I love the harmonizations of it, and I love the kind of story of it because it kind of takes you through the whole aspect of that part of your body that nobody talks about. So and just the musical talent that's actually there, the different instruments to represent different types of parts of your body, and I've never heard anybody talk about their pancreas like that.
No, it's delightful. And I'll say this. It is Weird Al's. Weird Al has 2 Beach Boys parodies, and this is the best one. And the other one, of course, being Trigger Happy, which I just need to say to make sure that I'm completing things for everybody.
Love that song. Yes.
Trigger Happy's great, but Pancreas is, it's Smile, Brian Wilson, era, Beach Boy thing that's occurring. And I watched some documentary footage about the recording of the Straight Outta Linwood sessions, and the care that he put into Pancreas is beyond. It's beyond what most people would do for anything, let alone the second track on a novelty album, right? And
Yeah.
he did such a spot on late era Beach Boys parody, late era 60s, you know what I mean, when the Beach Boys were still the Beach Boys with Brian Wilson, not later BS Beach Boys. But anyway, I digress. I have a hard line here, and I will stand by it. Anyhow, it's perfect. And he spent a lot of time belaboring the harmonies on it and like how all of it worked out. And it's so perfect. The layering of the round of the verses at the end of Pancreas is great.
Yeah.
My favorite part of Pancreas, however, is my pancreas attracts every other pancreas in the universe with a force proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the distance between them. Woo, 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 woo.
Woo. Yes.
All of that. Do you know what that means?
Sort of. No.
No, it means they exist in space. They are. Like, that's convoluted because anything attracts any other energy in the universe with a force proportional to the product of its mass and inversely proportional to the distance between it. Like, it's like you are matter. That is what it means. And it's a long way of saying my pancreas exists. And I think that is the most delightful science nerd in joke that ever could have occurred in anything. And the fact that it happens in such a beautiful Beach Boys pastiche. Chef's kiss to Alfred Matthew Yankovic. He's the man.
Yeah, I love that. That's just a physics question answer stuck in a really awesome song that, if you went to the average person and asked them, have you heard a song about your pancreas? They'd say no. And I just love the fact that he put so much care into something that really I think he knew from the very beginning it wasn't going to be one of his bigger hits, but he still put the time and the effort and the care into it like it was one.
Yes. And that's where you're hitting at that part in his career, I would say. Again, looking at my wall, I have the debut album up through Even Worse in vinyl up on my wall because I don't need these original copies due to the fact that I married a man who had the Squeeze box set that has all of them on vinyl. Ooh. So yes, that's not the only reason I married him, but it was part of it. And but anyway, I'm looking up at this and I'm like, there's a lot of thought that goes into what he did, but I'm eyeing Polka Party on my wall in particular, and I'll tell you why. I think Polka Party is a great, underrated Weird Al album, but there are some tracks on it where you can tell he was like, fine, I'm doing this because you asked me to. And you could hear it in his voice. I'm not gonna call him out because I don't want to ruin anybody's favorite song, right? But knowing the history of how these albums came to be, Polka Party was very much like pushed out quickly, and the care wasn't there on every track like it was later on after he started producing his own albums, which he started doing in the 90s. And number two, kind of stopped caring about the machine. So I think it's delightful. I think it's wonderful. Have you ever seen Weird Al in concert?
It's on my bucket list, and I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time before I even get a chance to. He was close once, and I just could not. It's been really difficult for me to do anything. I work 2 full-time jobs on top of my podcast, on top of the entrepreneur coaching. So it's like me doing anything anywhere, it's difficult. But I mean, Yeah, it's been something I've wanted to do my whole life, and I've just never was able to do it.
Ugh, well, I will tell you what. Do yourself a favor. Watch some Weird Al live concert footage on YouTube because he's a master at doing what he does. But I will say, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling in my gut of guts that we're going to get at least one more good, solid Weird Al tour. So, buckle yourself in for that because I think it's going to happen. Because he's a joy to see. He's an absolute joy to see. And, he's a master. He's absolutely a master of his craft. So I've asked you your favorite Weird Al songs. I haven't asked you, and I've asked you what your intro into Weird Al has been. If you were to encounter somebody who had never heard Weird Al before, what are 3 songs that aren't your favorite ones, because those are usually like ones that are personal to you? What are 3 songs you would say, try this out? And you can say like, okay, for me, if I were to answer this question, I'm going to tell you this, it would be specific to the person. So if you want me to define a person for you, I can. But if you were to say like, okay, if you were to take 3 songs to illustrate to somebody who Weird Al is as an artist, what would they be?
Well, they would have to be something that is recognizable. So I would probably have to say "Eat It" would be one of them, and I think that would be one of my first ones, just because it's so close to "Beat It" that it's like they would recognize the beat right away. They'd recognize they would see the change of words, but it still would be exactly like, oh yeah, I recognize this. But then it starts, it's like, what happened just now? Did somebody change the channel on me? What happened? Something like that.
And before you move on to your next one,
yeah.
I will vamp and give you time to think, because I know I put you on the spot. Yeah, I think "Eat It" would probably be on my list of things that I would do for people as well, because there was a period of time where I had my dogs kind of trained, in the way of Pavlov, to eat when "Eat It" was playing, because they didn't always like to eat their food when I put it down. But we've since moved houses, and like their whole situation has changed, so they can like eat at their leisure, so I don't need to do that for them anymore. But about a year ago, my husband put "Beat It" on, and he was, we were listening to music, and "Beat It" came on, and the dogs started whining, and he goes, "Why are the dogs whining?" And I was like, oh my God, because I used to have them trained to eat it. And it's to your point, like it sounded enough the same to them that they're like, oh, we should be eating now, right? There's definitely, yeah. So it's wonderful. Yeah. And the fact that that's the song that I would argue put Weird Al on the map, like in a larger, more like, with the larger like American music market, like you can't skip "Eat It." Like "Eat It" is quintessential Weird Al listening.
And I love the video to it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they just like they took the "Beat It" music video and like did this with it, and then threw it on a plate.
Yep.
Just saw someone would come across there.
Did you ever watch the side-by-side of "Beat It" and "Eat It"? It's on YouTube. Oh my God. Weird Al he's brilliant. He's brilliant with what he did with that. And it makes me so happy.
That's amazing. I'm going to try to steer away from the Michael Jackson stuff now, since I've already used one of his. So my next song would more than likely have to be, oh gosh, now I got to, my brain. I had it ready.
Nope.
And then it's gone.
I can edit.
Long time ago.
Oh, the Saga Begins.
Yeah, Saga Begins. That's right. I would have to do that one just because, once again, it's the same thing. It's very relatable. You recognize the melody and that kind of thing, especially if you grew up in that time, of the original. Yeah. So it's really easy to pick out. But everybody, most everybody, is a Star Wars addict. So it relates to him in 2 different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this song is great. The the video for this was kind of the introduction to the new clean shaven Weird Al, and we all kind of freaked out thinking he cut his hair too because he had the wig on to look like, you know, Obi-Wan, right? But thankfully he didn't do that. But yeah, he did such a great job with this. And I don't know if you know this, and people listening to my show have probably heard this story before, but I love telling it, and this is a perfect context to tell it, is that he didn't see episode 1 before writing this song. He got information leaked to fans. Like, so it was leaked information, right? And he took what he heard through the fan grapevine, the Star Wars fan grapevine, and wrote the song. And it was basically like, well, if it's right, awesome. If it's wrong, it's funny. And did the song the way he did it. And it luckily worked out. And we got what we got. But could you imagine, like, if it wasn't the plot? Because I'm at the point where I tell people, like, okay, if you're going to watch the Star Wars movies, watch, you know, there's people argue about the order, and I really don't care. Like, I don't have a dog in that race whatsoever. But I would say episode 1, you don't have to watch. Just listen to the Weird Al song and then move on.
Yeah, pretty much. That sums it all up right there in, 3.5, 4 minutes.
Yeah. And then you get like 2 hours of your life back. It's a great song. I love how he closes concerts with it, because it's that, and then it goes into Yoda in such a beautiful way. And it's delightful. Again, if you haven't seen Weird Al live, watch like the saga begins into the Yoda chant and Yoda. It's just delightful. Like, it will make you get warm fuzzies. He did it at a Comic-Con, I want to say, in like 2016-ish. And that's on YouTube. So you can find that. Now, commenters commenting in the comments, I know, correct me if I'm wrong. I know he did it somewhere at one of those things. I might have the year wrong, so tell me what I did. I'm literally, talking off the cuff here. I'm doing my best. I'm not an encyclopedia. So, so, take what you will. And, DJ Skoob, what is your
okay, good.
Yeah, your third song, DJ Skoob.
So my third song, I'm gonna say Tacky.
Good one.
And I think I'm gonna say Tacky, just because, once again, it's for the younger people that are a little more relatable for that time frame. Easy to pick out as far as the beat, but the music video had such huge names in it.
Yep.
That I just couldn't stand. It was just so amazing that he was able to get this group together and do this music video for Tacky. Just so amazing.
So cool. And I think, yes, getting that group together to do the music video for Tacky speaks to the Weird Al of it all, right? Like,
oh yes,
it's one of those things. Like, if Weird Al calls, you're like, where do I have to be and when? Like, I can't imagine a person, within 3 or 4 like loops, like sphere bubbles of Weird Al, like degrees, I guess. If we're talking like degrees of Kevin Bacon, like anybody within 3 degrees of Weird Al that wouldn't say yes, absolutely, to being in a Weird Al video, I don't know what's wrong with them. It's just like, I don't know what's wrong with people who turn down Weird Al for parodies. It's just like, that doesn't make sense to me. But the Tacky video is brilliant. It's one long take. It was an absolute masterwork of like the music video, which was a dying art at the time and still is. Like, it is not what it is. Like, we're not in Michael Jackson's short film territory anymore, anywhere near that, But the Tacky music video from 2014 was so cleverly done that it was still a nod to, like, do you remember when this was an art form?
Yeah.
Like, it's silly, but it's still like saying like, hey, look, we took a lot of time on this and it's fun, And yeah, like, that's awesome. And I love that the Tacky video ultimately became the way he opened the mandatory world tour concerts, you know? Like, that's how it started. And I'm going to selfishly take a little time for myself here for a moment, because it wasn't the mandatory world tour that this happened to me on. It was the Strings Attached tour in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tacky didn't open the show, but it happened in the middle. So in a Weird Al concert, there's always video screens with things happening. And stuff was just happening on the screen. And I'm in the front row, so I'm already in the VIP. So I'm already going to get to meet Weird Al after this is over. And I'm with my friend Jonathan. And we're just there. We're like, oh, this is so cool. This is cool. And then Tacky starts. And Weird Al comes from the back of the amphitheater. And he's making a beeline to like walk between the front row and the stage. And I'm like, oh no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Because I hadn't met Weird Al yet, right? So I'm dancing because I love this song and I'm dancing. And there's other people dancing between the front row and the stage. And we're dancing. And Weird Al comes by, and there's video footage of this. Weird Al coming by, moving his arms, doing the Tacky dance. And I'm just like, like he's passing by me, and I'm like having an out of body experience because I'm this close to Weird. I'm like, right? And it kind of like, that was like a really weird, like an amazing moment where, you know, he became a human for me. I'd seen him in concerts like many times before that, right? But I'd never been that close. I'd never felt him brush against me. Like, so there was like a fit. I was like, oh, this is a real human. Cool.
Yeah.
And it was part of that dance, like the whole Tacky thing that was like, oh, all right, we're all real. This is so cool. And I don't even like the song Happy by Pharrell, but Tacky's, I couldn't tell you one lick of lyrics of Happy, but I could tell you all of the lyrics to Tacky, you know?
That's probably why he called it Tacky. I think he was just, you know.
And this circles back to kind of where we were at the beginning, right? With owning who you are. And the song Tacky is all about owning who you are. We did an episode of this very show for Mother's Day 2021 with our mother. And she wanted to talk about the song Tacky. We just re-released it recently, actually. And she owns this, like, deeply. She's like, I am Tacky. And here is why, you know? And it's her owning who she is. And I feel like that is what gave us, you know, because my brother and I started this show, and it's like, that's what gave us license to own who we are, you know? Because I love my mom, but she crazy and she own it, you know? And I think it's delightful. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to just be who you are and own who you are. And I love that Tacky is the song for that.
It's like the new Dare to Be Stupid, right?
It is. It is.
I would definitely put those two together.
I would say if we're doing the trifecta, I think in my mind is Dare to Be Stupid, Everything You Know Is Wrong, and Tacky.
Oh yes.
If we're going decades, we got an 80s, 90s, and 2000s, right?
Yes.
Like, because, you know, I don't care, you know, Everything You Know Is Wrong. Which is like, you know, black is white, up is down, and short is wrong. Short is long. Short is long. You know?
That's long.
Yeah. You know, it's like, you can question everything because everything should be questioned, but also believe in yourself because you should be believed in. And those are the tenets. That's like, nothing makes sense, but you are who you are.
As long as you believe in who you are, then everything doesn't have to make sense as long as you know who you are.
Right. Weird Al's deep, man.
Deeper than most people think.
Deeper than yes, deeper than most people think. Like he's so smart. Nothing he does is by accident. And like every lyric has something for you to find in it that is you can either laugh at or recognize something in yourself with, you know? And I think that's super cool. And he was doing it from such a young age. Again, my Weird Al theme song is I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead, which is from his debut album. And he was like 23, 24, when, you know what I mean? It's like so self-assured. I don't care about what's hip. Like, you know, so don't tell me where my head's at. You know, I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's who I am. And I met my husband through our podcasts and through our Weird Al fandom, which is a weird way to meet a person. But here we are. Hooray, it's delightful. And like to have somebody who, like, I'll do something and he's like, oh, that's the Weird Al. And I'm like, yeah, that is the Weird Al, isn't it? Like, to recognize that, I think that's super cool. And it's always like something kind and good to do. Like, I told him about the story of like my student telling me I was nice, and he goes like, well, that's just Weird Al. I'm like, you know? So anyway, I think this has been a wonderful conversation. We just both got to like talk about how super Weird Al is.
Yeah, I didn't even get the chance to talk about UHF.
Well, you can. I'm not like telling you to stop now. What do you want to talk about UHF?
Oh, UHF. Oh my goodness.
Go for it.
That was a movie that really set me off watching really bad movies.
UHF is not a bad movie.
No, that's not a bad movie, but it's a movie about bad shows.
Yes, that's fair.
So, like, you know, he can't beat Conan the Librarian.
Oh, no.
And I still have the Spatula City whole commercial memorized.
Oh, yes?
Oh, yes.
Do you want to do it?
Spatula City. A giant warehouse of spatulas for every occasion. Thousands to choose from every shape, size, and color. And because we eliminate middleman, we can sell all our spatulas factory direct to you. Where do you want to go when you want to name brand spatulas at a fraction of retail cost? Spatula City. And this week only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale. Buy 9 spatulas, get the 10th one for just 1 penny. And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a spatula? Spatula City. Hi, this is Sky Greenbloom, president of Spatula City. I like the company so much. I like the spatula so much. I bought the company. Spatula City, thousands of locations.
Spatula City, we sell spatulas, and that's all. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well done. Yeah. You know, UHF is something else, man. And I very recently got to talk to Eric Appel, director of Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. And I asked him if UHF, because it was great, but if the commercial disappointment of UHF affected Weird Al in any way, you know? And he was like, no, not really. Enough time had passed where he got to do what he wanted to do with that movie, and he also got to do what he wanted to do with this movie. It's just time passed, and it was more people appreciate it. And I'm like, that makes sense.
It definitely ended up being a cult classic for
so
me.
good.
That's 100% sure.
I'm staring at a giant Weird Al UHF poster on the door to this room, by the way. It's huge. It's a movie theater size poster that I have. So this, and
I have it.
I've got one right here too. It's right here.
Yep.
This is a weird UHF poster.
I have it on VHF. I have it on DVD. I have it on beta. I have it on Laserdisc.
Oh man, in the back of my mind, I was about to be like, but you don't have it on Laserdisc. What kind of fan are you?
Yes,
but you have it on Laserdisc. So you know what? DJ Skoob, I think I want to have you back on at some time in the next year to do a deep dive into UHF as somebody who has it on all the different formats.
Oh yes, definitely.
So we'll do that. Would you be willing to eat a Twinkie Wiener sandwich with me?
If I had one I'd do it with you right now.
You do it right now? You don't have to do it right now because I can't do it right now either.
Okay.
But when we do our UHF deep dive episode in 2024, which will happen because this is the last episode of 2023. So I've got a whole year to make good on this. You will eat a Twinkie Wiener sandwich with me?
100%.
Wonderful.
I've had many a Twinkie Wiener sandwiches in my time.
Me too. They're good. they're like really good. So I'm not even mad about it. Okay. So DJ Skoob. We are not going to dig any more into UHF because we're going to let you talk about it on a full-length episode at some point in the next year, which I am excited about already, preemptively. But here at the end of the show, I know you pitched it at the beginning, but again, tell the people what your podcast is about and what you do.
Sure. So once again, my podcast is Undiscovered Entrepreneur, where we talk to brand new entrepreneurs that are just getting started in their entrepreneur adventure. So if you're just getting started in your entrepreneur adventure too, be part of the Skoob Believers. Take a listen to my podcast. You can always contact me anywhere, definitely on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. If you want to find out anything about me, my YouTube, all of it's on linktr.ee. That's linktree.
Linktree. Yep. I'll put the Linktree in the notes.
/DJ Skoob. That's SKOOB because I couldn't spell it with a C without getting in trouble.
That's funny. Yes, the link to DJ Skoob's Linktree will be in the notes of this episode. Yeah. So any of my prospective entrepreneurs listening to this, have a good time. Grab the resources while ye may. And so, I think that's the end of this episode. And you're gonna get one of my sound drops. It's okay.
And that's when those security guards threw us out.
Right? So, without any further ado, this has been a delightful episode of the Beard Owl Podcast, and we're gonna come at you again in 2024 with who the heck knows. This show is going through some fun transitional times right now, and I'm very excited to have some fun guests on while we do that, and I'm looking forward to what the new year has to offer. So, DJ Skoob, thanks for being the last guest, 2023.
Oh, thank you.
All right, bye, everybody.